guys, it's Hannah. So before we get into the video, I want to let you know today's video is brought to you by crooked lipstick and poorly put on fake eyelashes. So yeah, I'm trying to branch out with my looks, and this is what's happening. Also, something new that I'm doing, I'm using the camera behind my phone instead of the camera in front of my phone because better quality. It does throw me off a little bit to not stare at myself because, you know, self-obsessed, but I think I'll get past it. I think we'll move on. Anyway, I hope you can't see my pants because literally I'm wearing sweatpants underneath this, and they're boy sweatpants, so they're not very attractive. Anyway, moving on. Today's video, I want to talk about therapy and therapists and maybe advice. I don't know. I'm kind of just taking this subject and going with it, so we'll just see how it goes. So yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, I kind of want to talk about my experience or history with therapists because I've had 3 in my life. Well, 4 kind of, because I had a drug and alcohol counselor at one point, but that's a different story. Anyway, when I was a freshman, I kind of felt, I just felt off. I felt like I wanted to talk to somebody, and kind of in general, but a lot at that point, I didn't feel very connected to either of my parents. I didn't feel like I had an adult that I trusted and really wanted to talk about things. I was kind of embarrassed of some of the stuff that was going on, and I wanted to talk to an outside, unbiased party. And so when I brought it up to my mom, she didn't take it well, but she didn't take it bad. She kind of just was confused. She's like, why do you need to go to a therapist? Are you depressed? Do you feel like you're going to kill yourself? And I was like, no, but I still want to go to a therapist. She kind of made me feel uncomfortable about it, but she ended up getting me in there after, well, first of all, she took me to my, pediatrician because I was 15 then, and I talked to her about it, and I was like, yeah, I've been feeling like this and like this and like this, and so then she told my mom, oh yeah, you should probably take her to a therapist because kids go through this, blah blah blah. She prescribed me an antidepressant, P.S. it didn't work, and so I went to my first therapist, and I went to her from fall my freshman year to maybe summer after my freshman year, almost 9 months or whatever, and it didn't work. She didn't help me at all because I didn't go regularly. At that point, my parents hadn't taken the whole counseling thing seriously, and so I would kind of go sporadically whenever I needed to talk to her. And I also, the way that she did it wasn't really conducive to how I needed it done. She kind of we would just do a rundown of all the things that had happened in my life, how I was feeling about it, and that was it. That was what we did every time. We didn't really talk about, how to improve, how to work on things, what was going on with me. We just kind of talked about my day-to-day life and how I was feeling. And so after that, I was like, okay, well, I need a different therapist. And first of all, a piece of advice that I would like to give you is don't settle for a therapist. If you're going to settle for anything, don't settle for a therapist, because if it's not someone that you trust, if it's not someone that you feel comfortable with, if it's not someone that you're not making progress with, it's not going to work. Literally, you're going to get nowhere with this therapist, and you'll be wasting time and money. So I pestered my mom, and I pestered my mom, and I pestered my mom, and then she put me in a Christian counseling center with another lady, and spoiler alert, this therapist didn't work either. Therapist, counselor, whatever. First off, I came in and I was because I'm really careful with my counselors about, I like to know the rules, what they're going to tell my parents, what is confidential, blah, 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 all that stuff. And I straight up was like, okay, what can I tell you? What can you not tell my parents? And she's like, oh, well, if you tell me you're self-harming, I'm going to tell your parents. If you tell me you're drinking, I'm going to tell your parents. If you tell me you're doing drugs, I'm going to tell your parents. If you can tell me blah, 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 all this stuff. And then, of course, if you're being sexually assaulted, if you plan on killing yourself, if you plan on killing others, that's kind of just the standard stuff. But I was like, oh, well, great, I can't tell this bitch anything. So then I didn't really confide in her at all. I would talk to her about things, and she was really emotional and really, gentle and fragile with me. Oh, how does that make you feel? Draw a picture of your feelings for me, Hannah. If you just pray really hard, the devil will get out of your head and stop causing the depression and the anxiety. I'm just okay, let me just go pray about it to a God that I don't believe in. But yeah, okay, sure. So then after that happened, that stopped. And Then in December, like I started seeing her fall of my sophomore year, and then in December I hit rock bottom. I ended up in the hospital. I may eventually like make a whole video about that, but as of now I'm not as comfortable to go into details. But I was a danger to myself and I was in the hospital, and they kept telling me to go to her, and she like did nothing for me. She just was sad and looked like she was gonna cry because I was sad. And maybe that works for some people. Maybe that really gentle, like loving, caring, like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, oh, maybe that works for some people, but it doesn't work for me. So then, fast forward a couple months, I stopped going to her. Like, I stopped going to her, maybe like January, February, I put my foot down. I was like, no, like, this isn't working. Like, I'm sorry, it's not working. She's not conducive to me either. And so my mom and my dad kind of just thought I was being a brat about it. Like, whoa, that scared me. Like, I was just being like an asshole, and I was like being a stubborn kid, and I just didn't like want the help. But like, honestly, I knew when I was in a bad place, and let me tell you, it sucks being depressed. It sucks having anxiety. It sucks wanting to hurt yourself, and it sucks being afraid to eat. And I didn't like being there. Like, I was like, well, like, fucking, I know there's ways to get better. I know that that's out there, and I want that. And so I pestered them, and so they took me out, and then I was out of therapy for a while. And then I got expelled from school. And not going to go into that too much either, but after that, they were like, it was like a shock to them, like what was going on. And so then I ended up in another therapist's office. And I don't really know who recommended her. I don't know how I got the name, but however it happened, it was like the best thing ever, because I love my therapist now. Like, she's very blunt, kind of has an attitude a little bit, kind of tells me how it is, but tells me how it is, like, in a really positive way. Like, she'll be like, you know what, you're super mature, like, you're super smart, like, but you're really manipulative. Like, why the fuck are you manipulating people like that? And she lets me swear in her office, which is, like, fantastic. Like, swearing helps me just get it all out of my system. So that is kind of my history with it, and I'm still with her. I try really hard to go weekly because I found out that weekly therapy really helps me. Like, if I skip weeks, like if I go every other week, or even, God forbid, there's 2 or 3 weeks in between, then I kind of will like lose things that I want to talk about, and I kind of almost like 1 step forward, 2 steps back when I like don't go enough. But another thing about therapy, that's kind of my history, but moving on to the next subject, lots of people are embarrassed or ashamed about therapy, or insulted if you think they should go to therapy, and that whole kind of negative connotation really hinders people. Like, not me personally, just because I'm really like fascinated with psychology. I am wanting to like major in that in college, and perhaps if I'm not a famous actress or director, I will be a like adolescence therapist or something. And so I didn't mind going in. I almost look forward to my weekly sessions. Lots of people don't, though. Lots of people resent therapy or like dread therapy. And you can't look at it that way. Like, first of all, if someone says, hey, you look like you have some issues, and I think it would benefit you to go and sit down and talk to somebody, like a therapist, don't take that as they think you're crazy. They think you deserve to be in a mental hospital. Like, lots of people think it's like that, but everybody, like, could benefit from talking to a therapist. Even somebody who doesn't have any issues, doesn't have, like, any mental illness, doesn't, like, have any of that. You can still benefit from talking to a therapist. Like, okay, so say that you're finally in therapy. Say that you don't want to be there, but your mom is making you, or your significant other is making you, or something is forcing you to be in there and you don't really want to be in there. Make the best of it. Like, honestly, why would you fucking go to therapy? Why would you drag yourself to that office and then just sit there? Or lie to them even. My therapist will talk about how, like, her patients will lie to her, and it just boggles my brain. Like, don't fucking lie to your therapist. They're a tool for you to help yourself. Like, you got, like, even if you don't want to be there, like, take it seriously. Like, talk to them. Like, what is the harm in going to therapy and participating in therapy? Just stop for a second. Just stop and think about it. What's this person actually gonna do except try and help me and give me good advice to improve my life? Like, literally, you just have to think about it like that. Think about it as, like, this person is just a tool to help yourself and to improve your life and your relationships with others. Like, that's all that it is. And my very last point that I want to make is, wow, my mind just went blank. Oh, if you think that you can't afford therapy, or if it's like not in your insurance plan, or you don't have insurance, there are like free counseling centers. Like, just start Googling shit. Like, there are places that are gonna help you with your mental health and sit you down with somebody completely for free. So you honestly just have to get there. So if that's your excuse, like, joke's on you, because that's not an excuse. Like, fucking go and seek out that free counseling, because they have that for everybody. So yeah, those are all my points. To recap, make sure you like your therapist. Like, don't be afraid to be like, you know what, we don't connect, like, I want to look for somebody else. Take it seriously. Actually talk to the people. Like, you're in there, you might as well make the best of it. Free counseling. Fucking, I can't afford therapy. Bitch, it can be for free. So go and figure that out, because everybody needs therapy. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the happiest person alive. You're going to benefit from some therapy. Oh yeah, another point was, it's not a shameful thing. Like I said, everybody needs therapy. It is something to be proud of. Like I will throw it out sometimes. I'll just be like, yeah, oh, my therapist said this, or oh yeah, I go to therapy. And sometimes people are taken a little bit aback, or sometimes it makes me a little bit uncomfortable, makes my stomach twinge a little bit, because I know there's that negative connotation. But I throw it out there because I want to be comfortable with it. I want other people to be comfortable with it, because it's honestly something that I'm proud of. Like, I'm going to this person and I'm working on myself because I want to be a healthy individual, both physically and mentally. And that's how you should look at it. Like, good for you. Like, who cares how you ended up in there? Good for you for taking those steps and taking that initiative. So yeah, I think that was everything. I want to thank this girl on Twitter. You know who you are, but you definitely gave me the idea for this. She kind of recommended the video for me, and I was like, hey, like, I've been in therapy for 3 years now. Like, I could definitely make a video about that. And then I did. Alright, today's quote is, "Some girls are made of heartache and poetry. Those are the kind of girls that try to save wolves instead of running away from them." So, yep, I'm not even going to try to explain that, but that's the quote I was feeling today. A few little housekeeping items before I end this video. I posted on my Instagram and my Twitter at the beginning of December, that I'm going to be doing Vlogmas, but like weekly Vlogmases, like probably 4 are going to be up. So look forward to that, and I'm trying to be more consistent with my videos. I'm not going to announce a day that I'm going to be uploading by, but I'm trying to get that all figured out and get my jump start into like being a weekly video putter-outer. So look forward to that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I might have given you some good advice. I'm just a kid, but I have been in a lot of therapy, so sort of know what I'm talking about, but not really. I hope you have a fantastic night, or a fantastic morning, or a great afternoon, depending on what time you watch this. And yeah, stay inspired.